I've been able to drive this all new 2021 Ford F-150 hybrid about 1,900 miles, and I've got a lot to share with you. We're going to take a full detailed look at all of the exterior details, the interior details, take it for a test drive, and I'm going to tell you what it was like to live with this truck, drive it about 1,900 miles, tell you a little bit about the miles per gallon, everything there is about living with this truck. Let's go ahead and get started. Now let's start things off under the hood, because the hybrid powertrain is all new for 2021 and there's a lot to know about it, and I'll give you some miles per gallon figures a little bit later. This hybrid is called the PowerBoost. It's Ford's 3.5 liter EcoBoost engine paired with a battery and an electric motor, so you've got instant electric torque tacked on to the already powerful EcoBoost engine. The way it's configured is you've got the battery pack under the truck and it doesn't take away any interior or cargo space, so it's integrated in. Miles per gallon is rated at 24 in the city, 24 on the highway, and 24 combined. And those numbers are going to vary a lot depending on what you're doing, if you're towing something, and your speed, and just how much braking and slowing down and coasting you do. When I took this truck, we were going from Texas to South Dakota, and there's some areas where the speed limit is 80 miles an hour, and we had about a 40-mile-an-hour headwind going there, and we did not get very good efficiency at all. I'll put some graphics on the screen so you can see what kind of miles per gallon we got compared to what the truck actually showed us, and it was not very good, but I can only imagine it would have been worse with other trucks. Now, when you're going 80 miles an hour in any vehicle, you're gonna lose a lot of efficiency and going into the wind, but even going into the wind or having a heavy crosswind going about 65 miles an hour, I was able to get the actual EPA estimate. So it just really depends. And this truck's own computer was a little too generous for efficiency most of the time. But the best part is, if you want this hybrid and the things you can get with the hybrid that I'll show you a little bit later, you can get this on any trim level for this 2021 F-150. You just have to have the Super Crew model in order to be able to fit that battery pack into this truck. And for towing, there are slight bumps in towing to all these 2021 F-150 models. I'll put the specs in the description down below, a sheet from Ford, but the PowerBoost can get up to 12,700 pounds and 14,000 pounds with the regular EcoBoost. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look at all of these exterior features and details first. So, like I said, this is the King Ranch trim level, and it's pretty dressed up. It's got a lot of optional features. And right up front, first of all, we've got a pretty traditional looking front end. I mean, this doesn't look that much different than last generation, but let me show you. The daytime running light is a lot different. So it's massive. It takes up the entire upper portion of the headlight down, and it actually goes all the way down into the bottom with the fog lights. You can see you've got an LED blinker, you've got full LED headlights, and these are actually adaptive headlights with LED fog lights, and just a big bold front end in general. You get the chrome on the bottom here. This is part of the chrome package with this truck, but you can get body color as well, or two-tone. And it's nice to see we got tow hooks there. There are even parking sonar and sensors up front. And the hood is still pretty muscular looking. Got some kind of bulky bulges in there. And if you want to see these headlights at night, I've got a full night review showing off how well they work and the adaptive function. So be sure to check that out in the description below. Now, there are several different colors available for the F-150. This one is Kodiak brown. It looks black in some lighting, but when the sun is shining on it in certain lights, you can see a little bit of a dark brown kind of purpley color. And of course, with this King Ranch, we've got the two-tone color down at the bottom, as you can see. And we have optional 20-inch wheels, not ideal for a truck, but you can get shiny big wheels if you want to. You got the King Ranch badge on the side, chrome mirror caps with this chrome package. Those are power folding. You've got the light on the outside that I'll show you more of that later on with the zone lighting, dimming, automatic dimming mirror, and blind spot indicator. And you can see a little PowerBoost badge on the bottom. We've got fold out running boards that I'll show you in a little bit, chrome door handles, and this is the long wheelbase actually. We have the longer bed, 6.5 foot box that I'll show you in a little bit. As with other F-150s, you can get the FX4 off-road package. So you've got special off-road shocks, you've got skid plates, we got those tow hooks up front, four-wheel drive, and then we have the optional wheels, but you're gonna get all-terrain wheels with the FX4 package, or all-terrain tires. We've got LED taillights, a very similar design. You've got a massive LED taillight. The entire rim is LED. The King Ranch on the back, you'll get platinum or limited badging with those top couple trims too. You've got more parking sensors down here. We're ready to go for towing with the trailer receiver, the hitch receiver, and then you even have LED blinkers. So it is full LED back here as well. And to top it off with the chrome, we've got a little chrome exhaust tip. Now back here is where things start to get pretty interesting. So first of all, you can get the 5.5 foot box or the 6.5 foot box. And the 6.5 foot box is what we have right here because we have the longer wheelbase. So it's nice that you can still get that on here. Of course, you can get a long 8 foot box on the single cabs, but it's got a camera right here. You've got a light for your hitch right here that shines down at your hitch. Plus, it's hands-free. Not only does it not slam, it's also power and it's lockable. You can do it with a button, you can do it on the inside, and you can do it with your key fob. So same thing going up with it. And just like a lot of F-150s that you've seen in the past, this one still has the step to get up into the back of the truck if you want to. So this was actually convenient for me because I had my mother-in-law. She kind of got in the back of the truck a couple times and this made it easier for her. But there's so much more to it than that. Let me go ahead and show you. Now back here, things are pretty cool. So first of all, you'll notice right here, we've got a ruler for inches and centimeters. There's various different ways that you can use this. I mean, it goes all the way across, all the way to 48 inches right here. So you've got 4 feet of ruler right there for work surface or measuring fish or whatever you want to do. You can even clamp stuff down. So there are 2 clamps. You can put a clamp in the tailgate, one on each side, so you can kind of literally use this as a sawhorse if you want to use it for that kind of thing. You've got this little integrated like tablet holder or something that you can stick right there, and this is technically a tie down on the tailgate, but it also doubles as a bottle opener. So you can use it as a bottle opener if you're camping or something, or tie stuff down to your tailgate. And we have the spray-in bed liner, which is an optional feature. Nothing's really different with this bed compared to last generation. It's still very similar. You've got fixed tie downs in each corner. You've got the optional box link movable tie down. There's 2 on each side and the other side. We've got LED box lighting, so there's a button that you can push, or you can turn it on in the actual cab of the truck. There's LED lights up there and an LED light over here. So at night, this is really, really well illuminated. But the coolest part about this truck is the Pro Power onboard. This is a 7.2 kilowatt system. So I'll save the best for last. First of all, you've got 2 120 volt plugins right there, 2 more 120 volt plugins over here, and a 240 volt power outlet. That's a 240 volt outlet. That's awesome. That is super rare. And this 7.2 kilowatt can be in generator mode, and you can literally power so many different items and power tools and different things. So you can use this truck as a generator and legitimately power your house. When you go into generator mode, the engine will be running, of course, because you need that to help power this. So you're going to use some gas, but the battery, the hybrid system that you get with this is insane. And I'm in Texas, and when everybody's power went out and people lost their heat and lost power in their house, people actually use these hybrid F-150s to power certain items in their house by running some extension cords. So I mean, this truck, this is awesome. Now let's look at the key fob. So this is the same as the last generation. You can remote start, you can open up your tailgate, just like usual, and it's the smart key system. So this truck has a feature called it's like a welcome feature. You can turn this off or on to where the running boards will automatically pop out. You can have that on or off, and then you've got a sensor. Second time to open it, the mirrors will unfold, you close it, and then there's a button right here you can push to lock it. The mirrors will fold, running boards pop up if you want. There's also a little button on the end where you can manually open or put them up or put them down. Another thing that's nice is Ford kept their touchpad, the keyless touchpad. So you've got these buttons here. You don't need your key fob. You can get in and out of the truck or tell somebody else your code so they can get in and out of the truck without the key. And while I was traveling, there were a couple times where I just didn't even know where the key was. I could get in the truck and lock the truck just with that keypad. And the other thing is, had my wife getting in and out of here, it was putting a baby car seat in the back. So the running boards were nice, and the fact that they could just kick back up out of the way was really convenient. Now let's take a closer look at these seats. So these King Ranch seats are really nice. First of all, this headrest can be ratcheted to be forward or backwards or somewhere in the middle. So I love that. And same with this upper portion. This can also be ratcheted to be further out or back to where it is. So there's multiple spots with that. These are heated and ventilated, so you have the perforation in here. You've got nice bolstering without them being over aggressive, and a pretty flat bottom, but I've been very comfortable with this. There's no thigh extension, but not really something you see in these trucks. But these seats are very comfortable. They're leather wrapped, two-tone with the King Ranch, and we've got several adjustments here and a little special goodie. So your basic tilt and adjustment here, reclining, four-way lumbar support, and then this middle button is actually the massaging function. I push that little button in my seat. You can do driver or passenger, and it will automatically start massaging, and you can decide whether it's just the lumbar area, whether it's just the butt cushion, or these two options are both the full recovery and relaxed recovery. So I had those going so much during this long 1,900-mile trip, and it has been fantastic. And it's for you and your passenger, which is amazing. And one more little feature here is you can do a max recline function. So watch the seat bottom and the seat back here. You can recline this seat all the way, and the bottom of the seat doesn't just stay there. It actually comes up to where this kind of turns into a little bed. Look at that. This is pretty neat. This is actually really cool. I actually did lay down in here for a little bit just to rest because I did so much driving. And I tell you what, this is a really cool feature. It's this side and the passenger side can both do this. And like I said, you can even adjust that part of it, this thing, to your own liking. Now, for those of you with mobility issues, rest assured with those running boards, but you also have grab handles on each side to help you get in. And we've got the easy entrance and exit system, so your seat and the steering wheel can move to your preferred position. And like I said, being able to spend 1,900 miles worth of driving in here, I love these seats. They're very comfortable. There's so much to appreciate about them, like that massaging function, the adjustable upper back, four-way lumbar support, the headrest being able to move and be, more forward or further backwards. It's just awesome. Headroom and space is also great. So excellent job with these seats. They still seem just like they were last generation, but they're very, very comfortable. Now, taking a look at the back seat, you've got the same leather two-tone material. They are perforated still, which is kind of annoying because crumbs and dirt and crap like that can get inside of them, and they're heated, but they're not ventilated. But there's a lot more to show you about those in a little bit. But on the door, you've got the same soft materials you do up front: armrest, cup holder, storage bin, and cup holder down here. Plus there's a grab handle on both sides, so it's easy for people to get in. And legroom is unchanged from last generation. It's still very, very good. As you can see, foot space, knee space, everything is excellent. In the middle, there's a fold down armrest with cup holders, and it's kind of padded. Right in front of us, we get two cup holders and a little storage bin. You've got heated seats, two-tier heated seats back here, no ventilated seats. Air conditioning vents, good to see. 12-volt power outlet right there. And then even a little bit lower, you've got two more USB charging ports and a 120-volt three-prong outlet. And don't forget, we've got the twin panel panoramic sunroof that goes way back here. And headroom in here is excellent, perfectly fine. Even with my hat, you should be able to fit a work crew or a family back here. Now, aside from this being a big, spacious, comfortable back seat to sit in, it's also a great utility space. So this doesn't have the in-seat storage like you'll see with GM, and the seats don't recline like you get with Ram. I wish you could get both of those, but watch this. So of course you can fold it up. You've got a 40-60 split folding seat, and then you've got this massive flat loading floor. So you can just shove a whole bunch of stuff back here if you want to. You've got pockets on each side. You've got this under seat storage right here, which is kind of its own separate area. But you've also got this lockable storage area right here. So this is awesome. And it's lockable because you can pop that up, fold the seat down, and then there's a spot where you can actually lock it so that nobody can lift the seat up. So essentially it's a locked storage area. And when you're not using it, it's really easy to just fold it down too. Move this door out of the way. and then you still got the same flat loading floor. So utility is awesome. And we didn't really use the flat floor all that much because I had a car seat back here which fit just fine, and some other junk shoved back here, and it was perfectly fine with how spacious it was. Now that we're inside, let's go ahead and start it up. Push button start, foot on the brake, and look at this massive screen. So starting out over on the door, you've got this trim, and then you've got this nice soft material that runs all the way across. Pretty good size armrest, the same kind of design that you'd expect from Ford like the last generation. These back windows are not automatic one touch, but the front ones are. You can power fold your mirrors with that button. Push that back out, and then we've got memory settings for our seats. So we've got 3 position memory settings. Ford gives you a lot of space in storage. You've got a storage nook, storage down here, and a couple areas for possible bottle holders. And I had a couple bottles in there throughout the trip, and it worked excellent. Now just to the inside, we've got these mirror lights that I showed you on the outside, a light for each side. I'll show you the zone lighting in a little bit. You can open up or let down your tailgate with that. We've got bed lighting, all your lighting controls, and your fuel door opener down there. And there's actually an electronic parking brake. I would still really like to see a physical parking brake on a pickup. And then you've actually got power adjustable pedals, so you can move the pedals in or out, which is awesome for anybody that has challenges getting comfortable. This is a new steering wheel design, at least the buttons. The buttons are in different places than they used to be. Still easy to use. You've got your lane keeping system, cruise control stuff over here, even your radar distance pacing cruise control, volume and voice, and then phone controls plus information display controls for that screen up there. Not to mention, this entire steering wheel is also heated. So the steering wheel is heated, this whole wheel is power, tilt, and telescoping, and it's comfortable to hold on to being leather wrapped. Kind of a little luxury feature is that these are rain sensing windshield wipers too. Then right in front of us, Ford gives us a large all digital display. Some of the other trims will give you a couple different size displays with physical gauges, but this one is all digital. So you can control everything through your steering wheel. And there's a lot of, this is all the trip computer stuff. So you've got fuel economy, you've got your trip computer, and here's the efficiency from my 1,900-mile trip. And I just got back yesterday, and it was a lot of highway driving, almost exclusively highway driving. So that's why the electric miles is not that much, because I didn't really do that much in-town driving, which is where you get electric miles. But I mean, 19 miles per gallon total, probably more like 18 if it's more accurate with the way that you do it the old-fashioned way, not what the computer says. But this was my most recent leg of the trip, where I do have a little bit of in-town driving in town, and it's a little higher, but I'm sure we would all like to see those numbers be better. But just remember, going highway speeds, interstate speeds, 80 plus miles an hour, and excessive wind almost the entire way against me. Keep going, we've got, so this is kind of like a little coach on your speed, your acceleration, deceleration, on how you can improve your efficiency. And then when you're driving, this will actually tell you when you're in electric mode or hybrid mode, or you're charging with regenerative braking. We'll talk more about all that in the test drive and what it's like to drive this hybrid, and when we're in electric mode, when we're in hybrid mode, etc. Before we take a look at this massive screen, there are a couple of features. So we've got the trailer backup right here. You can push this button, and then you can literally use this dial to help you back up the trailer. So pretty much anybody can do it. This is the integrated trailer brake controller. You can adjust the gain here. That is nice having that integrated. This is our drive mode button. First of all, you've got the 4-wheel drive controls here. So 2 high, 4 high, 4 automatic, which is a nice feature. It will automatically go between 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive when you're on off and on slippery and dry weather or situations. 4 low, push that button to activate your locking rear differential. And then we can twist the knob to actually go through different modes. So normal, slippery, deep snow and sand, mud and ruts, so your off-road modes. And if we go back the other way, tow haul mode, eco mode, and sport mode. And I didn't do hardly any driving in any mode except normal mode. So take a look at these buttons at the top. This is to activate generator mode. So if you're gonna have stuff plugged in, Like it tells you the engine will run, but you can use the most out of the power outlets in the back. Otherwise, we have this camera, because we have a 360-degree camera. You also have parking sensors. It will automatically brake if you're gonna back up into something. You can change the views here, get a full screen view. You can see more up in the front. You can see into the bed of the truck, which is awesome. You can check on stuff. It doesn't let you do this while you're driving, which would be nice to be able to do, but at least you can still see that. And then you've got a top-down view over there. And when you're actually in gear, so I put it in reverse, we've got dynamic lines and we have a hitch line. And then over here, you can tap on that. And if you want to see how you're doing on your right, left, or your left rear wheel, check it out. You can see it. And you can go to the other side too. So you can zoom in on different aspects. So this is nice. And this is a 12-inch screen. This is Ford's 12-inch screen, which is available on the XLT or higher trim levels. Let's go ahead and go to Apple CarPlay. This is wireless Apple CarPlay. You can have wired or wireless. You also can have Android Auto. It does not take up the entire screen. There's always going to be something over here. But if you go to navigation, you can have this take up the entire screen. And I actually used this navigation coming back just to see how it would do. And it actually worked pretty well. I liked this navigation. And most of the time I don't like like built-in navigation. But let's go ahead and go to more settings. There's a bunch of different stuff that you can do on here and see on here. It's got Wi-Fi, which has been really nice on this trip to have that. Sirius XM, HD radio. You can go to your seats to actually adjust your massaging functions or adjust your lumbar support. The vehicle hotspot, like I said, we've got built-in Wi-Fi. You can have your own personalized profile for you or for another driver. So many different things that you can do on here. And then a quick little shortcut to features. You can quickly go to your driver assistance features and adjust all of this stuff as you go. I wish that there were a couple more like physical buttons to just, shut off the parking sensors or, a couple things like that. But you can do all of that in here. Same with the auto hold, the brake hold. It's unusual to have to go into the touchscreen to turn that on or off, but you can do it. The Pro Power onboard, like I showed you in the back, you can allow power to even come out. You can turn on generator mode so that you can get the most out of it and you can see how much power you're actually using. Let's go back. The zone lighting, this is really cool. I actually turned this on a couple times when we were loading stuff up in other vehicles outside and in the dark, and you can light up any side of the vehicle, front, back, side, whatever you want, in addition to the actual mirror lights that I showed you. So you can turn it off, turn it on, turn on all the zones, and it's really well lit up all around the vehicle. And this is just really handy in so many different situations. You can see more information about towing. There's even like a connection checklist. You can check your trailer lights, so much stuff that you can do. Turn off your power running boards if you want to, have the approach detection on, and you can even see the power flow of when the battery is charging or when you're actually using battery power. If you want to see all that, you can. Then over on the side, there are a few different pages like navigation, your eco behavior, your Pro Power onboard, zone lighting, so you kind of have shortcuts to all of that stuff over there. And even though the screen is a touch screen, you still have physical knobs here, which is nice to see. I like still having those knobs. Dual zone climate control up front, and this did an excellent job when we had it on. My wife and I had different temperatures and we didn't really have any complaints at all. Fan speed, heated, ventilated seats, and your heated steering wheel button. Excellent. Down here, we've got a wireless charging mat. There are two USB charging ports down here, a regular and a Type-C, or it's just a good storage bin, and you can cover it up if you want to. Now, there's a few wicked and wonky features in here. So first of all, this looks very similar. I mean, kind of the whole layout looks very similar to the last generation Fords. You just have bigger screens, but check this out. This is a new feature, and one that kind of freaks me out. But you can put the shifter down. You've got this little storage spot right here. I'll show you what you can do with this in a second. Storage spot works good for your phone or other things, whatever you want. Cup holders are nice and large, so no problems there. Next to the center console, there's a little storage bin on both sides. But if you get everything out of the way, you can move this armrest. Whoops, my phone was in the way. Now if you get everything out of the way, you've got a big flat work surface right here. So this is nice if you're gonna write on it, you got a computer, you need to do some work, connect up to the Wi-Fi. I actually did some editing in here and I connected to the Wi-Fi and it was awesome. So this is a good work surface for a number of different things. You can eat on here, and no joke, I changed my kid's diaper on here and it worked. She barely fit laying right here with her legs up, but I changed her diaper on here. In another F-150 that I showed you guys, this has a different work surface. It doesn't fold in like that. It still actually had the column shifter, which I would prefer to have the column shifter instead of that thing fold away. But it was different because you could actually slide a tray out into your lap, so you had a work surface right here. And this has always come up, but it just kind of freaks me out when it comes up. Like, I swear that thing is gonna get stuck sometime and then I don't know what we're supposed to do. Right up top, there's another storage bin up there with a rubber liner in it. And then down here, we've got more power outlets. So this isn't an actual outlet right here. It's just a light or an indicator, but you have a 120 volt power outlet right there. We've got a storage bin right here. You can close it or you can open it. You've got a locking glove box, so check that out. And with the King Ranch, we've got the King Ranch logo right there. Lift this up, massive storage area, a sliding tray right here, and there are a couple of more charging ports down there as well that are kind of covered up, but it's just a really big, deep storage bin. We have an automatic dimming rearview mirror. We've got garage controls up on the visor. You get a sunglass holder. There are actual little bits of ambient lighting in here. There's ambient lighting in the cup holders and things like that too. LED lighting. And then, like I showed you in the back seat, we've got the twin panel roof that can slide all the way back. And this truck comes with the B&O sound system, which is upgraded. You've actually got a speaker up here on each side and in the headrest. So Ford kind of went all out with the sound system here. And in on my other channel, I'm doing point of view test drives with binaural audio, recording the sound system. So plug your headphones in and let's take a listen to this B&O sound system. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get this F-150 on the road for even more miles. And in this test drive, I just want you to get an idea of what it's like to drive the F-150, talk about how this hybrid drives, what it's been like to drive this the entire distance, the entire way that I have so far. A little bit of ride, a little bit of handling, acceleration, and all of that. So I'll kind of let you know what drive mode we're in and when we go into and out of the gas engine being on or in hybrid mode. So right now we're at 0 RPMs. We're in just electric mode, and this isn't the same kind of auto stop start system that you get that you can shut off in regular gas vehicles. In this hybrid, it just does it randomly all the time, even when you're driving, and you don't really have any control over it. So right off the bat, we're in just electric mode, and this does not really have enough power to really get this truck going. It pretty much turns the engine on right away. So it's just electric mode, just coasting right now. Just a little bit of throttle and the gas engine turned on. Most of the time it's pretty seamless, but not all the time. Sometimes it's actually a pretty big jolt, but most of the time it's okay. But it takes a little bit of getting used to. And it'll show you down there a range, like a threshold of when you get too far to where the engine will turn off, or how much electric power you actually have. Right now, it's charging. We have regenerative braking, which captures energy to help charge the battery when you're braking. And it'll let you know down there, so it'll kind of coach you and tell you how much brake is too much brake to help you get the most out of it. But we're just in normal mode here, and this truck has some get up and go with 570 pound-feet of torque. Pedal down. actually had a little bit of a rolling burnout there. But this truck gets going. The brakes also do a good job. I had no complaints with brakes, acceleration, any of that while I was driving that entire distance. I mean, passing power is excellent. With towing, you'll have not only electric power, but you'll have the twin turbo engine in here as well. So you get that same kind of excellent towing capability that you normally get with the F-150s. Handling doesn't really seem that much different. You still get a little bit of body lean. You still kind of have a relaxed steering feel for the most part. I feel like GM's steering and handling is better. Similar to Ram here with this, but the biggest improvement with this truck is the ride quality. Now, this still has a solid axle in the back, but we have a long wheelbase here, which could make a difference, but you still get a solid axle, leaf springs in the back, not the coil like Ram. You got leaf springs, and this truck is just more comfortable. It just doesn't feel as bumpy and as bouncy and jittery as it did for the last generation. But let me shift us into sport mode, not eco mode. Sport mode, RPMs will stay a little bit higher. It's holding those RPMs, and it doesn't really give a crap about the hybrid system. It just holds those RPMs, and it actually shifts you into four-wheel drive automatic when you go into sport mode, which is kind of interesting. I mean, you get all traction in all the wheels, so it's not your typical sport mode where it's like the kind of thing that you want to do all the time. I mean, you definitely don't need to do it. Now, it's going to shift us back into too high, going back into normal mode, and we are just in electric mode right now. Once we get on some flat road here, I'm going to kind of coast and level out, and you'll get an idea of when it shifts back into electric mode or hybrid mode. But while we're sitting here, ergonomics wise, the screen was easy to reach and easy to see. All the buttons, the armrest, the controls, the cup holders, the buttons on the steering wheel, everything is in a good place. I feel like it's functional, it's easy to live with, and on the road trips, I didn't really have to hunt around and search around for everything that I wanted. Now I'm still in just electric mode, and we passed the threshold. The gas engine is on now. I'm gonna get up to speed, and this 10-speed transmission has been mostly smooth. We'll talk about that later. I'm gonna let off the gas, and we'll see if the engine shuts off. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. It is still on right now, so we're in hybrid mode. I'm gonna let off the gas again, see if we can kind of coast in electric mode. And okay, the gas engine just shut off, and you don't really feel much of anything. So I'm able to maintain this speed in electric mode, and I'm close to the threshold of the engine wanting to turn back on, but I can coast for a long ways in electric mode. And this is why city driving, with the braking and the coasting, you get the best efficiency. But it just shifted back, or just turned the gas engine back on. Now, just for fun, let's go pedal down again. And it is very quick to respond. I mean, you got a slight delay for that turbo, you got a slight delay for the transmission, but you get some almost instant little bit of power when you push on the gas, because you got that electric torque that comes out right away. You might be able to hear just a little bit of tire noise right here, but I think one of the most enjoyable things about driving this truck a long distance is just how quiet it is. I drove it on a variety of different road surfaces, and I did take decibel ratings on my usual rough textured highway road, and this scored very good with the decibels, very low. I mean, lower than just about anything else that I test, which is so impressive. You do get some wind noise at times, like when we had the crosswind, I could definitely tell that this is like a giant windbreaker with how big it is, but you've got double pane laminated glass right there, and it's just really quiet. My wife and I could literally whisper to each other in here because we almost had to try to keep my daughter sleeping, but we could whisper to each other at highway speeds and hear each other perfectly fine. We're in electric mode again right now, and if I just go ahead and kind of get on the throttle a little bit, the gas engine turns on right away. So throttle or electric mode, hybrid mode, it's gonna do its own thing. You don't really have that much control of it, but on your screen you can at least see if you're close to your threshold of how much electric power you have. The gas engine just shut off again. We're in just electric mode, just coasting right now. And I'm gonna start braking, and I can see just how much pressure I can put on the brake pedal to recapture some of that energy with regenerative braking too. And accelerating, gas engine just turned back on. Now this 10-speed, I had some complaints sometimes in some Ford products with the 10-speed, and I think that Ford has done a good job with this. This is a modular 10-speed, so it's a different dynamic with the hybrid setup here, but every single F-150 gets the 10-speed now. Gas engine just shut off. We're in electric mode, going like 35, 37, just coasting, using zero gas at all, and it's super quiet. But there have been some times where it's a little jerky. I think the actual hybrid powertrain, the engine on, engine off, is where most of the jerkiness actually happens, and not so much in this 10-speed. I mean, going up some hills, passing people, slowing down, it was smooth for the most part in most situations. And the gas engine just turned back on, going up a slight little hill. But I tell you what, this powertrain has been pretty impressive, especially Ford being the first to implement this full hybrid in a full-size truck, in a truck period. So it's pretty exciting. If any of you drive an F-150 hybrid, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it so far. Now let's just get on a little bit of gravel. I did drive on some, and it was still really quiet. I didn't get a chance to off-road or do anything like that, but it's still very quiet. I didn't have a single rattle or anything in here, no matter what kind of road surface I was on. It's really, really comfortable. I did get to take an F-150 off-road through a small off-road obstacle course when they first launched it, and it did a nice job. Did a really good job, actually. So I'm gonna just put it in, well, actually I'm just gonna put the locker on. So we've got the rear locker on, so you've got both wheels will lock up. You can put it in 4 automatic if you want, 4 high, 4 low. And the locker stays on. You can just shut it off with the push of a button. But this F-150 is just so impressive in so many different ways. Obviously, there are different things you can nitpick at it, things you can complain about. But for a hybrid, with all the features, the Pro Power onboard ability back there, the good on-road and off-road manners that you get from a full-size truck, I mean, it's no wonder that they charge you $77,000 for these things. But that's gonna wrap up the test drive. Let's go ahead and let me give you some of my closing thoughts. So to wrap things up on this 2021 F-150 King Ranch, the hybrid, there's a lot to like about it. I mean, this truck is getting darn expensive at about $77,000, and you get a ton of features for that money. So if the features, the bells and whistles, all the technology that comes with this truck is what you're looking for in a modern truck, then this is perfect for you. I mean, it's amazing all the stuff that they have on here. Just from even up front, the adaptive headlights on a truck. You've got the hybrid system built in here on this truck. The Pro Power onboard in the back. I mean, there's just so many things, even on the inside, the big screens, just all the technology that they shoved inside this truck. Now, of course, if you want a more simplified truck, you want the V8, you can still get those. This one is all about what you get, bells and whistles, features, top of the line type of stuff here with this King Ranch and all of these options. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you think of this truck. It was an amazing road trip vehicle. There's so much space. It was more efficient than what you're gonna get with other vehicles, even though we were going pretty fast against the wind the whole time. And it's just really quiet and family friendly too. But thank y'all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button down below. Subscribe for more reviews like this, and have a great day.